parts that are essential.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun on that show.
One line that we've been moving along here is one of the movies that we just not gotten to yet is Batman Returns. So look for these figures this week. Originally, this was a Build-A-Figure line, but we moved away from that. And the Build-A-Figure, I think, would have been our greatest Build-A-Figure, but we're going to release it as a solo group of figures, which are the Commando Penguins.
Yeah, I want Penguins with missiles. Oh man, you let everyone your aunts and uncles, right? This is actually a good example of what I was talking about before, right? The movies came out, and again, over time, people sort of picked their favorites, and sort of there were some good things said about bad things, whatever. If you wait long enough, and now everybody goes, I want every figure from every one of those movies. Every time we come out with one, somebody goes, why don't you do that movie, and that movie, and that movie, and that movie? And so all of them, everybody's fallen in love with all of them, right? Even if it's just the second generation that's seeing it on streaming now.
And some of the greatest accessories that we've released so far have been vehicles. So the obvious vehicles, right? Our friends taking into Canada GameStop, so the Penguins got the boat and his kind of pajama pants.
Right, look, I'm not saying penguins with missiles and duckmobiles are for everybody, but there's enough of you out there that just go, shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do that, those versions of it. So sometimes our retailers step up and go, I'll take it. I'll be the leader in that one, and most of the time it works. So it's pretty fun, and it's fun, right? Sometimes you don't want the job to be a job. You want to have a little bit of fun. So we've got a couple of duckmobiles at the office that we sort of climb around. So
so stay tuned for more pre-order information. We'll have updates in your Comic Con as well. Live on Mcfarlane Toy Store now is a crowdfund. So check this out. This is the Justice League and BBS crowdfund for those vehicles. So that's from our collector club drawing.
yeah, again, just so you guys know the scale, those are big vehicles.
Yeah.
They fit the figure. They are big Mondo pieces, right? We've had pretty good success with a lot of the figures that we've done in the DC Multiverse. Again, everybody doesn't have a lot of shelf space. I understand it at home. Everybody's got to sort of buy accordingly. But there seems to be, again, another marketplace for people who want the stuff, besides the figure, who want the stuff in the vehicle, especially the Batmobiles, which are pretty good sellers for us.
Yep. So there's all those various levels. Once it's a waterfall effect, so if you commit to level 5, you get everything under level 5, right? So
yep.
That's the plan. Over at Target, obviously, our Batman the Animated Series Build-A-Figure line has been continuing. This is part of the Summer Geek Out event. So we've got Batman, Grey Ghost, Ra's al Ghul, Killer Croc, and for the first time ever, an animated Jonah Hex as the Build-A-Figure. So go pick that up in the collector spot. It's in the back wall at Target there. So go look for those this summer.
Yeah, there's different. You've got your sort of video game looks. You have your comic book look. You have your theatrical looks. You have your animated looks. You have your superpower look. Right. Again, we don't expect everybody to collect everything. That's not it. What our job is I sort of call myself a bit of a plastic buffet. You put out a bunch of stuff and you put it out there and you let people walk by and put on their tray what they want to consume. Right. You don't expect everybody at a buffet to put a little bit of everything. But I think what you should do is give people choice.
in terms of looks, brands, prices, and everything else, and let them make the personal choices they want. But obviously, the animated series has had a long run, and it's sort of beholden by a lot of people, so they're letting us play with some of the characters that came sort of late in that series.
At our Page Puncher line, this puts a comic book and an action figure in the same box. This is 7-inch scale, so the figures that are up for pre-order now, Superboy and Wonder Woman will have great chases with these as well. So you'll get a Steve Trevor figure at one of those retail-only chases, and then the new 52 chase of Superboy. But also coming.
And can I just say this? Oddly, this was the first that's Wonder Woman's very first appearance, right? Right there. Right?
Yep.
So it's the first time we got to the classic look of her, right? We've done a bunch of the other JLA characters from the sort of the 40s that when they all sort of appeared. We never got to her, so it's sort of fun for some of us who are a little bit older, a little bit nostalgia that we actually get to do the original look of her.
And then speaking of nostalgia, if you wouldn't know anything about Mr. Bone, stop it.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. So we'll give you a little bit of background. This is a character from a book called Infinity Incorporated. Infinity Incorporated is the book that I got. I started at Marvel. I did a few pages of Coyote, and then they canceled the book, and I was unemployed within 4 months of my career. And then I got a phone call, and they said, hey, you want to take over this book called Infinity Incorporated? This was my very first series that I ever did. It also was the steady paycheck that when I got it, I was able to bend the knee and hold out a ring and ask my date of the last 7 years to marry me. She's here. On Sunday, we celebrate our 40th anniversary. But Infinity Incorporated, allowed all that on it. It's a little bit funny because people look at it and go, oh, you ripped off Spawn off Mr. Bones. No, I did not. I created Spawn when I was 16, ladies and gentlemen. People forget that. If anything, Bones ripped off Spawn, right? In the other direction that I was doing it. But let me just say, I always like capes, and I like dark. Like people have asked me, people ask me, what's your favorite color? Mine's easy, black, right? It's the coolest color. Right? I think it's just the coolest color. So whenever I get a chance to do like big capes in black, I just do it. And if there's similarities in a lot of other characters, but he's a character we've never done before. And I said, why don't you do some of the ones that we did? Because there's literally dozens and dozens of Infinity Incorporated that I had to come up with Roy Thomas. So we're finally going to get to put some of them out to you guys.
We're going to jump back to the edition real fast because we have our first DC entry, and this is a reveal. It's just a render, so this is it's taking a long time to get to. But Zatanna will make her appearance. Yeah. With the ultimate accessory behind it, detective ship.
Yeah. See, again, to me, I was like, who doesn't want chimps and penguins? Come on, man. These are the fun stuff right here, right? You're going to be a geek. This is some of the fun stuff.
And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming over to Mcfarlane Toys. We've been kind of drip revealing images here, but we have the actual product finally here with the comic books. So this is a Page Puncher slice, and Wave 1 was fully revealed at Paramount's panel yesterday. So this is coming in fall 2025 here from the IDW books.
Yeah, no, to some extent, they were some of the original independent comic books, right? They came out. I mean, I know that Image Comics gets a lot of street cred because we did it as a collective whole, but right here, I remember the Turtles came out when I was collecting, that was like that black and white era, and it was like, oh man, you could do stuff outside of the sort of big Fortune 500 company and be successful. And this thing's gone on to $1 billion brand.
So we have 2 turtles in the first wave, and then chasing them immediately are the other 2, as my son would say, together, right? So Raphael and Michelangelo, and then Bebop and Rocksteady will be part of this wave as well. Our UFC figures or statues, shall I say, roll on, and we have two entries here coming that are for pre-order on the UFC store and McFarlaneToyStore.com. So Alex Pereira and Max Holloway here, 7-inch form factor. So look for those.
And the packaging is an octagon.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And the base strings.
Yep.
Big reveal here, big sneak peek, shall I say. So, Avatar, the third film comes this holiday season. And we have the tiniest sneak peek, but we are bringing the collector line back. It's just a snapshot of what's coming.
Yeah. So here's another one, and it's always frustrating when you lose good people, right? So we've had the good pleasure of being able to do the first couple of Avatar movies, right? James Cameron, again, I'm throwing you, he's a geek. I've been around him a couple times. When there's nobody, I've said it before, people like James Cameron and Steven Spielberg, and I had a little bit of pleasure to be with them. There's nobody else in the room, they turn into 10-year-old boys. They turn into kids. And I don't say that in an immature way, I say that in a positive manner, that I think as we become adults, they try to shape the child out of us way too much, right? We do it to ourselves a lot of times. But those two guys, I've been there, and when there's nobody around, they're just like, hey Todd, I want to see this. Right, let me show you something, hang on a second, right? And they go and they run, and they're just like, so they bring something, and they're like super giddy about it. And I keep saying, I think it's sort of part of the secret sauce of why some people are successful, because they just have kept it. So James is a geek. You have some people on the inside there that was a geek, and then John Landau that was sort of leading it, but he recently passed away. He was a big figure, not only for John, for everybody else on that staff, but he was a big toy advocate, right? He shepherded a lot of it, and I know that we're gonna sort of lose a little bit in this product because John's not there, but it's always frustrating, like I said, when somebody takes their last breath and they don't get to help you along the way here. But we're quite proud. He had a lot of impact on, and a lot, obviously, with James and everybody else, on what the third movie is going to look like. And there's some really cool, you don't see it here, but there's some really cool designs and markings and stuff on the body, so it's not the same blue figure that you've seen before. So.
Yeah, we have a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive to do our Mcfarlane Toy Store. So this is up for pre-order now, and this is forged with this RDA Banshee here. So you can see, as Todd mentioned, all those markings in the deco, transforming these groundbreaking films into hopefully figures and justice. So that, guys, wraps up our panel here. We're right at time, but we save some time for Q&As. But what I do want to do is just outline. We have a Mcfarlane toy show every month. We do a TV show on YouTube. So in between all these cons, you want the latest and greatest news, you can join AJ on the YouTube channel and walk it through.